Hello, I'm Joe, aka Mr. Fragrance, and today I'm talking about a fragrance from a company that has been rising in popularity for quite a while. So I purchased this fragrance a couple of months ago and I thought now's about the right time to give it a review. So enjoy the video. So welcome back. Today the perfume that we're going to be looking at is this Intense Oud. Now, I say the company that's been rising in popularity. When I'm saying that, I'm referencing Aroma Concepts, and whilst they don't actually create this fragrance, they distribute it to people in the UK, and now actually it seems as though they're moving across the world. A good friend of mine, a YouTube channel called The Fragrance Wardrobe, now he got a haul from them recently, and he's in Texas in the US, so they're clearly branching out, but that's kind of irrelevant really. They've just been rising in popularity for a good few months now. I've seen loads more people doing YouTube videos on them, on fragrances from them, but the perfume I'm actually looking at was created by Paris Corner. Now I've mentioned it a couple of times in other videos, whether that be vibrant colour videos or anything else really, favourite oud fragrances, all that kind of stuff. In fact, that video isn't even released. But before we move into the video, like proper review of it, I just want to show you the box as well. Now, if you know your perfumes, well, even if you don't know your perfumes, you may know of Gucci Intense Oud. Now, this is what it is replicating. This is what Intense Oud is replicating, and that's yeah, it's replicating the Gucci fragrance. I've never smelled the Gucci fragrance, and you know what? I don't know if I ever intend to. I probably will at some point, given that I've got this. But I'm going to forget all that. I'm going to forget what this Gucci Oud fragrance is, because I've never tried it, and I've not got a great deal of want to try it, if you know what I mean. So I just want to review this. I absolutely love this fragrance, and it's time I did a review on it. So yeah. So before we start, I'm just going to run you down the notes, just so we've got a brief idea of how it really should smell, and then I'll spray it on the card. So we've got top notes of pear, raspberry, and saffron. Saffron is obviously something that has to be used in very, very small quantities, otherwise it can become very overpowering. But it sounds quite nice, maybe slightly sour smelling almost at the top. And in the middle we've got Bulgarian rose and orange flower, and in the base we've got natural oud wood and patchouli. Patchouli always pairs well with natural oud wood anyway. No, I'm not going to pretend I've never smelled this. I've smelled this so many times, I've worn it so many times. Presentation wise, we've got this lovely wooden cap, very, very nice design, not particularly heavy, but you know, it feels real wood. It's certainly not plastic anyway, but it's real wood, there's no denying it. Got a little bit of plastic on the inside though, but yeah, just taking the cap off, it smells amazing. You can already smell it. Now I'm going to spray it on this testo strip, as I want to give it a good review, because even though I've smelled it so many times, just give you my initial. So yeah, I've always said, now that's my first time properly looking at the notes in a while, I've always said when I've described this to anyone, it smells like a really rich apple at the top, and that's what hits you. That pear, the apple, really does hit you. It's that sweetness of the apple. As soon as you bite into an apple, you get that burst of sweetness, and that's exactly what's coming out of this in the top. Now that's giving it this burst, this singiness almost, but there's some raspberry, I guess, that's coming through, giving it a little bit of sweetness, adding a little bit of sharpness, but there's no denying that this opens with a perfectly fruity punch, and it's really, really lovely, really lovely. In fact, the oud is so subtle at the top anyway, and you really actually don't smell it that much in the opening, which for many is a huge bonus, because the problem with oud fragrances, I would say, in my opinion, my humble opinion, you know, personal opinions only, is that with a lot of oud fragrances, they're just oud from the start, and that's all they are. They're just oud. They're just oud. And the oud fragrances that I've already reviewed on my channel, I've reviewed them because they're not just oud. You know, I've got Zeus's black oud behind me. I reviewed that because that is not just oud. That was something special. This is the exact same. This is not just oud. Wow, I said that wrong. No, wow. The raspberry, now I've read it, now I've mentioned it, the raspberry is just becoming so prominent. and that the apple that I've got in my head obviously is the pear. It's really nice as well. Now, once that kind of initial hit, that initial smack of fruitiness kind of dies down a little bit, you're left with a powdery green mid. Now, Bulgarian rose, I believe I read, that's very subtle, and whatever I'm picking up is very, very subtle. It's I'm just picking up some sort of greenery, almost like the stem of the rose. I'm not picking up anything in particular that's very floral, and I've never ever categorized this anywhere near being a floral fragrance. Possibly the lightness of this, just in general, this is a really light fragrance. It's not heavy, not deep, it's not kind of lethargic, it doesn't like weigh down as many oud fragrances end up doing. No, it's always like really airy, really lovely, fluffy. And not fluffy, generally I would say fluffy if I'm thinking of a fragrance being really sweet and kind of just fitting in to the crowd, kind of blending in. No, this isn't quite like that. It's got enough pungence, it's got enough punch to avoid the being labelled as fluffy. And it's only really when this top and then this middle start to kind of pass over that you get this lovely, soft oud at the base, and it's in no way overpowering. And I like this. I think this is probably a really good example of oud and how it should be used. Now, this fragrance is really cheap, and it's a brilliant fragrance, I've said that already, but it is very cheap. And so there's no denying that this can't have used a lot of oud, genuine oud in it, because oud is just so expensive. It's well known about how expensive it is, and you just can't, for something that ends up being £15 a bottle, you just can't. So possibly this kind of lack of huge pungent oud is to do with the price. But I don't think that takes away from how nice this fragrance is. In the end, it's about how good a fragrance smells. It's not about how much of a certain particular thing is actually in the fragrance, because if that doesn't affect the way it smells, and if you like the way it smells, then surely it shouldn't really matter what's in it, because it's not like when you spray it on your body, you've got like a list of labels down your neck or something that people are checking if it's got this or that, how much concentration of this or that is in it. If you know what I mean. In the end, it's about how it smells. If you enjoy it, you like it enough, and you can detect that oud in there, doesn't matter how much is in there, as long as you like it, as long as that is specific to your taste. I wouldn't say so. Anyway, that's a little bit of a sidetrack over. So yeah, that's it really. It's a short review, but it's got a lovely fruity, zingy kind of sharp opening, whilst having this kind of powdery sweetness from the pear, which is lovely. And then in the middle we've got this really nice, almost green powderyness, just teetering on becoming minorly floral, but not at all enough to categorize this as ever falling into the category of a floral fragrance. And in the base, you've got this very, very light and really lovely soft oud, and it's a seductive fragrance, and it's a really nice night out fragrance. It's a chilled fragrance, and I think it's probably one that lots and lots of people would like. And I think that this probably is like a really, really good example of a beginner fragrance for someone that's wanted to kind of get into a slightly more diverse area of perfumes and perfumery. Yeah, it's kind of like a way to lead yourself into oud and kind of test dip your toes in those waters. So yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope I've given you an idea. This is, again, I'll link Aroma Concepts in the description below. Paris Corner were the people that created this, so you can check out their page on the Aroma Concepts website. But thank you very much for watching. You know, I bought this under my own accord. Everything I believe, everything I think about this fragrance, I really, really love it, and it's certainly in my top oud fragrances, and that is a video to come out very, very soon. So thank you very much for watching, I'll see you next time on Mr. Fragrance.